Thank you to Route 22 Meats for this incredible sirloin. I'm going to use it and show you guys my top 5 steps, maybe with a bonus number 6 near the end of the video, to turning your steak into the best steak it can possibly be. Stick around. It's a simple 5-step process with a little 6th added in there. I'm going to show you guys how to make the best steak you've ever had. Tastes like a restaurant right at home. Today on Chris Cookin' Nashville. Step 1, we are going to season our steak properly. An under-seasoned steak is a bland, unhappy steak. Ideally, do this at least an hour before you cook it, or even better, do this the night before. Leave this sit uncovered in the refrigerator, and it will dry brine. That is going to tenderize it, make it juicier, make it more flavorful all the way through, and it's going to help you get an incredible crust on your steak. Use a good quality salt, plenty of it, and do it at least 1 hour in advance, but better overnight to dry brine. Step number 2 is to battle moisture like you have a personal vendetta against it. I'm using paper towels to pat the outside of this steak dry to get every last bit of moisture off. That moisture is going to steam against the pan when you start to cook your steak, and instead of getting a Maillard reaction where you caramelize those little bits of glucose in the muscle and get the nice brown flavors, you'll end up getting a gray, anemic looking steak. This is also where dry brining comes into play, because this dries the steak out overnight on the surface and makes this much easier. No matter which method you use, make sure you get every last bit of moisture off the outside of that steak right before it goes into the pan, and you will thank yourself when you take a bite. Step number 3 is a proper preheat and sear. If you do not preheat your pan before putting the steak in there, you will not get the crust you are looking for. Turn your pan onto a medium to medium high heat, depending on the strength of your burner, and let it preheat for 5 to 10 minutes before you put anything in there. Then you're going to use a high smoke point fat, something like lard, bacon grease, beef tallow, ghee, something you would like to cook with, and you're going to add that into the already preheated pan. Now you can use cast iron like I'm using, or you can use a heavy bottom stainless steel, but preheating the pan ahead of time before adding anything, including the fat you're going to cook in, is going to not only help you get the proper sear on the outside of the steak for the crust and the flavor, it's also going to prevent the issue of sticking. So make sure you have preheated your pan, and then add in a couple of tablespoons of fat to a very hot pan so you can get ready to properly sear your steak. Once the steak goes in, do not play with it. Don't flip it, don't poke at it. Let it go in the pan, get good contact between the steak and the surface of the pan. Flip it once and only once so you can get a proper sear on both sides of that steak. You will taste the difference if you do this right every time. Next is basting and flavoring. I'm going to add in a couple tablespoons of butter after flipping this to the second side. That is going to melt and be there for a butter baste we're going to do in a second. This is also when you can add additional flavors like black pepper, garlic, onion, herbs, any of those kinds of things you would like to put on top of the steak or add into the melted butter that you are going to use to then baste the steak. This is going to keep the steak not only juicy and tender, it's also going to add some of those browning dairy solids which give a great nutty flavor on top of the steak. So we're just going to add our pepper and then get some butter underneath of the steak to help flavor that side. And then we're going to use the rest of the melted butter. I'm going to tilt the pan towards me and use a spoon to slowly and carefully spoon hot melted butter over top of the steak. I also have pepper on top of the steak, which this butter is going to help fry. That way we don't burn the black pepper against the super hot pan, but we do get a nutty roasted black pepper flavor. And if you don't use any seasonings, that's totally fine. Leave them off. No herbs or garlic or pepper is necessary. You can just do this with salt and still do that butter baste and get an incredible flavor on your steak. This is the time to make your steak customized and special just the way you like it. Tip number 5 is to not leave anything to chance. If you were trying to cook your steak perfectly, use a thermometer. You can get pretty inexpensive instant read thermometers just like this. You can get other kinds of probe thermometers. There's all different ways of doing this, but even the best chefs in the world don't want to guess. They want to make sure they do it right every time. So get a thermometer, cook this to the doneness that you like. I will put a table on the screen letting you know exactly what temperature each type of steak is going to be. Pick your favorite and pull the steak out of the pan 5 to 10 degrees before your final target temperature, because it will carry over 5 to 10 more degrees of cooking. Bonus tip number 6. First of all, look at this incredible steak we've worked so hard to make. We are going to let it rest. 5 minutes of patience is going to give you the best experience when those juices redistribute. We've worked so hard to make such a great steak. Let's be patient, give it 5 minutes to rest so we can enjoy it at the absolute ultimate steak experience. Let it rest. Carryover cooking on meat like this is going to increase the internal temperature anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees. So you want to pull the steak out of the skillet about 5 to 10 degrees lower than where you ultimately wanted. I wanted this to hit about 125 to 130, so I pulled it out at about 115, 117. That should bring it up to about 127 by the time it gets done. This is also a great time, if you want, add any finishing flavors, any last touches, a little bit of herbs, or sometimes just a nice little sprinkle of kosher salt is a great way to finish off your steak. Let's let it rest. Let's cut into it. Let's enjoy my top 5 tip steak. There we go, 5 steps, 6 if you count resting it, I suppose, to a really, really good steak. Let's give it a shot.
All right. Already tell it's tender cutting in. That's an amazing steak. I mean, it's nice crust on the outside, really juicy and tender, soft on the inside, lots of flavor. Great flavor.
This is a very simple version too. This is just salt, pepper, butter. You could add garlic, you could add herbs, you can do a lot of different things to flavor it however you want, but that basting technique and just getting the cooking stuff right is what makes the biggest difference.
It's honestly better than what I would get at a restaurant. And Route 22, their meats are incredible. I've loved everything that I've tried from them, hands down.
Source from so many great local farmers in various places. All of it's been fantastic. So thank you, Route 22, so much for sending this. Major shout out to Yori for sending this along.
Good people. I feel like I cook steaks wrong.
I think a lot of people tend to cook steaks wrong, as it were, and that's why they don't realize that steaks at home can actually taste better than they do in a restaurant. You just have to know the right things to do. Chris cooking Nashville, the beautiful Ash Taylor. You guys eat your meat with those 5 steps, especially. Love your life. We'll see you in the kitchen for more recipes. And if you like this one, make sure you go check out this video right over here.
So tasty. No, Mel, you can't have one. She wants a bite.
Sure, if he does.